ratchet. Sergeant Smack making backflip. Telly Hank with the action. With the Bible speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby Maine. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
Douglas Shine.
This call is from a correction facility.
Yeah, Chris of Warrensville Heights Police tell me tonight that they believe that Douglas Shine Jr. is still in the area tonight. He is considered armed and very dangerous. If you see him, do not approach him. Call police.
Shit, it's Douglas Shine, man. It's Duke, man. Live from down the road, man. Put up 3 times, man. Practice the good.
It's all good. It's all good. I appreciate you reaching out. Let everybody know what's going on, where you at, like exactly where you are right now, and just the situation.
Yeah, I'm down the road right now. I'm in Lucasville Correctional Institution, man.
This call is originating from an Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Yeah, I'm down here in Lucasville, Ohio, man, at Lucasville Prison. You know, anybody want to get with me, any honeys, any ladies want to reach out to me, shit. You know, nigga number is 692-264. Douglas Shine, man, just get with me, man, and hook me up.
Tell a little bit about like where you grew up, Duke.
Shit, I was born in the projects. I was born in the projects down the way, Longwood area. You know, I grew up around there. Man, you know, went to Central. You know, it was good. Well, it was rough down there, but you know, I loved it. You feel me? Everybody knew everybody. Everybody's mother knew everybody's mother. You feel me? So it was all straight. Probably like around age of 10, 11, or 12 maybe. I wound up getting introduced to the 116th area, like up the way. We call it up the way in our city. So I know a lot of motherfuckers up there and shit. And I started going up there.
When you was about 10 years old?
Yeah.
So like what drew you to that area? What before you went up there, that's just where everybody would talk about shit was going on, because I guess you was in the project, so I'm sure some shit was happening in the projects. What was different about the area up the way?
Honestly, the projects, like I said, it was just a lot of fighting and you feel me, a lot of drug dealing, but the project's so small, like everybody like right across the street from each other, like Longwood right there, 30th right there. It's like different projects, like 30th, Longwood, Owen, Case Court, Compound, like we all right there in the projects, like so it's like a jump in a skit, like you would be in Case Court. So it was just all like secluded though, you feel me? So we was all close to each other. But the difference between the projects and up the way so big, you feel me? Like you got so many different hoods, from Buckeye to Kinsman to Barnett to 116th, Nelson, Lenny Craig, Matilda, Dove, Miles, Harvard. Man, it's so many different hoods. Like, then you got a whole other side, the St. Clair side. You know, shout out to my EC niggas, my nigga EC Chuck. But you know, it's different sides though. So it's just so fucking big. Down the way only got one down the way. It's only one down the way.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's different in that way.
Okay, so I understand. And you say you started going up there at 10. Tell me about school. What do you remember about school?
Man, I love the school though, you know. To be honest, I love the school. When I was in school, you feel me, I always been like, you know, a pretty boy, so I always had the females. Then, you know, my mother always had this gift where she can sing and shit, so I guess it just was lent down to me, and I could sing real good and shit, so, You know, I used to be in school singing to the little girls and shit, and you feel me? So it was just fun, but I always liked the school, you feel me? I always got along with my teachers, you feel me? And everything was just like, it was good though, until I started really getting into the streets and shit, and I got to getting kicked out of school, fighting and toting guns and just doing wild shit.
When you remember toting the first gun? When you remember seeing your first gun?
Oh man, I remember seeing my first gun, but my first pistol probably my father, man. My father, I was a young nigga, man, and my father was in the streets real heavy, so he was always, you know, serving and toting guns, and father, wild nigga, so I probably was like 7 or 8, and I seen him with the gun, and I asked him, like, Dad, what's that? He like, oh, that's a gun. And I remember the exact gun it was. It was a 380 automatic with the pearl handle.
This call is originating from an Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Yeah, it was a 380 with the pearl handle. When I asked him, I'm like, damn, Dad, what you got that for? I'm like, everybody love you, so what you got a gun for? He like, just in case niggas want to take what I earned. I ain't get it at the time, though, you feel me? But I'm like, oh, all right. But now, you know, I get it now.
So it all added up. Did you have any brothers and sisters? What was that like? I know you talk about your dad and your mom.
I got a bunch of brothers, but between my mother and my father, it's me and my sister. But my mother got 2 other kids, which is my brother Buffy. His real name Kevin. You feel me? You can look. He all through the news too. You feel me? But that's my older brother. We thick as thieves. You feel me?
And where he at now?
Super tight.
Where he at now?
He in Lake Erie.
Okay. So was y'all close growing up when you was like around 7? When you?
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah, for sure. Like my brother, I really seen him do a lot of shit too. Like he was like on some G shit, like, you feel me? He was one of the head, like, car ring thefts, like, that nigga was, like, everybody looked up to Buffy from the projects to Kinsman, Barnett, to up the way, you feel me? Like, he introduced the car theft game, like, coming through in Jags and Beamers and all types of shit, man, like, so he always was a role model in my life, you feel me? You feel me? Like, on some street shit,
Like how far apart are y'all separated in age, or how close are y'all?
Well, I'm 25, so Buffy, my brother Buffy, he probably got to be like 32.
Oh, so y'all was.
So I'll say about 7 years.
Okay. So just based on some of my research, when And this is how the news could be misleading, and we're going to talk a little bit about that when we kind of get into the case. But it said from the time that I think like you were 7 or 10 that they came to your house for like almost they want to say like juvenile domestic stuff, but was that in turn to like your family being in the streets? It kind of make it seem like you was dealing with like abuse or something. When people type that or when the news say that, people automatically assume like, oh, okay, maybe he was abused as a child, maybe something happened to him. Or was that all in reference?
Nah, it's just difference between growing up in poverty, and it's a difference between growing up as a white kid. You know, black mothers whoop their son's ass, like, you feel me? So when we did wrong, we got our ass beat, and that's what it came down to, like.
But it wasn't for nothing that you wasn't supposed to. It wasn't for nothing you wasn't supposed to be getting beat for. You was doing shit.
Right, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah, I was doing shit I ain't had no business doing, so I got my ass with it, you feel me? But it's a reason, though. I won't just say, like, oh, I'm just a bad child, because at the end of the day, I played football, boxing, I did all that shit.
Let's talk about that.
I didn't really get the family. Yeah, I played, when I was a young boy, I was playing football for the Elliott All-Star. That probably was like you know, 10, 11, and I was real good at it too, you feel me? But I never got the family support that I needed from my mother, you feel me? Like, my mother, she's a beautiful woman, but at the end of the day, out of all her kids, I'm probably the only real street one. Like, my brother a street nigga too, but at the end of the day, like, it's just different levels to the streets, you feel me? Like,
exactly.
And I always had me. And her and my brother Vaughn was always, like, they always been tight. You feel me? So she always did for him, and, you know, my sisters, she did for them. But she expected me to get it out the mud because that's how my father always been, and that's what I was raised in. So she knew that she could just throw me out into the world, and I was going to come back.
This call is originating from an Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Yeah, she knew I was going to come back clothed and fed, so she really, at first, it hurted me as a kid knowing I didn't get the love and support that I deserve, you feel me? But at the end of the day, it made me a man, though. But a lot of people think that's what made me who I am today, because I didn't have that nurturing, that loving, that caring parent that I'm supposed to have.
Now, how you feel about that? Do you kind of feel like that in a certain way? Because it's hard to be anything that you want to be if you don't got that full support system at home. Definitely starting with mom.
For sure. Like, at the end of the day, like, I was so good at sports and singing and writing music and doing everything, and I did it because I wanted to impress my mother. And when it really didn't mean shit to her, I just gave up. Like, fuck it, I don't want to do this shit no more, because really this not my passion.
Yeah.
Singing was never my passion. Rapping and playing sports, that shit was my passion. I just did it because I felt like it made my mother happy. But once I see that she wasn't really happy, I just turned to the streets. And that's why I died head first in the streets.
Now, how long you remember, like, living, because I know you say you saw your first gun, your dad showed you that. Was your mom and dad living in the same, was you growing up in the same house with them, or was you visiting your dad? How was that situation?
Hell no, my dad and my mom was split. They was split. I never remember them staying in the same house together, to be honest, since I've been living. But my father always respected my mother, though. Like, he loved her to death. But I got a stepmom that he been with my whole life, and she like my second mom, and she loved me like I came out of her. You hear me? Like,
okay.
That's my nigga.
So and you remember that from the beginning, since you can remember, it's been that way.
Yeah, it's always been that way. Then, not just that, but it came with brothers on her side too, because I got 4 brothers. I got 4 brothers on her side, like, and they're my niggas, and they all was in the street. Now my brother Mario, he deceased right now. He got killed.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Go ahead, finish, Duke. We gonna keep it going, but go ahead and finish. You say your brother Mario.
Yeah, my brother Mario, he got killed due to gun violence and shit. He got hit and bled out. But we was thick as thieves, though. That was my nigga too. Like, he was closer to my age, though.
When that?
So if I'm 25 today, Mario kind of. What you say?
Now, finish. You say how old he was gonna be? I had a question, but I asked after you finish.
So he supposed to be probably like 29 right now.
Okay. So y'all was real close.
Yeah, we was real close. Cause after Buffy started really getting money and, you know, doing him really heavy in the streets, I went towards my brother Mario. So we was just super fucking tight. Like, that's my dog.
When we come back, I wanna know, like, when that happened and what the effect.
Thank you for using GTL. Thank you for using GTL.
Yo. Yeah, so Duke, we was just talking about we was chopping it up about Mario. When that happened to him? Or how old was you?
Probably wrong.
How old was you? Cause
I was was in the joint, you feel me? I had wound up going to the joint. I was in the joint. I had got bonded over as an adult. So I was on my way home, really, you feel me, when he got killed. But I was probably like 18 to 19 at the time. Probably, yeah, just turning 19.
Yeah, so
at the time.
What effect did that have on you? What effect did that have on you after that, being that y'all was close? Or was that the first death in your life that had a big effect on you? Or was it something before that had an effect?
Nah, something that really had an effect on me, though, like, to be honest, was my auntie Curlin. Oh, my God, man. Like, she was everything to me, man. Like, my auntie, she led me to death. Like, me and my little cousin, Devontae, his name Devontae, he wasn't really in the streets. He a good kid, you feel me, though, but she always had it.
This call is originating from an Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
She always had us, you know, she always loved us. She always fed us. She always just was here for us, you feel me? Like, and when she died, I probably was like, I was real young. I probably was like, I want to say like around 9 or 10. Around that age. I might have been longer than that. I can't even really recall, but yeah, she died. It hurt me. Like, I was crying so hard in the church, though, during her funeral and all that. I was just bawling. They had to grab me and hold me, like, because she always just been there for a nigga, like, so that did a lot of numbness in me, too. That, like, put a lot of numbness on my heart, you feel me?
Yeah, I guess, especially how you explaining it, if you lose somebody that you think is there for you when you don't got a lot of people, that's just like losing somebody from your support system. So, yeah, I can see how that could hurt you or affect you.
Yeah, to this day, I love her to death, but like with my mom, though, it just, I felt I really need that love from my mother, though, man, because at the end of the day, that's who I wanted the love from, you feel me?
Yeah.
There ain't no love like your mother's love, you feel me?
Definitely.
So,
definitely.
But I asked her, you feel me, like, damn, why you didn't love me like you love the other kid? And she told me she always loved me, but she just told me that, you know, being my father's child, she knew that I was so strong to the point where she just threw me out into the world because she knew I was going to come back solid, and she knew I was going to come back fed and clothed. So she knew I had it in me. So she said that's why she didn't show me that much effective love that she showed the other kids, because she knew I was a gangster.
They probably needed it. Some kids, I guess some parents determine that they're going to need it a little bit more, whereas this kid going to be good regardless. So it's like a gift and a curse.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So, you know what? One thing I do want to ask you before I even ask you like some other questions about your life, tell me in your words, what is Cleveland? What is Cleveland like? Besides LeBron James. Besides LeBron James and besides the Browns.
Man, that's the motherfucking land of the Heartless, man, for sure, man. Like, the land, bloody city. But at the end of the day, if you from there, you gonna love it, because due to the fact, motherfuckers that grew up in the city of Cleveland, man, there's a lot of motherfuckers that's from Cleveland, man, that it's so many different hoods, it's so many different walks of life in Cleveland. You know, you can go on the east side, you can go on East Cleveland, you can go on the projects, you can go on the west side, you can go to the outskirts, you can go to Maple Heights, you can go to Bedford, women everywhere.
This call is originating from an Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Man, Cleveland, everything, but it's a lot of young niggas that's out there that's really with it, though. You feel me? They really stepping, you hear me?
You definitely, well, right on my side, and from what I heard from Cleveland, that's just one of the places where you really nigga know not to try no shit. Some niggas even call the shit like Cleveland, but a lot of niggas that's known like that. I think Don King, one of the niggas that's like I can think of. Most of the niggas that I know from Cleveland that's famous got some ties to the streets. Even when you think of it's a running back play for Ohio State named Maurice Claret. I don't know if he's from Cleveland. It's just really Ohio, to be honest. But Cleveland is almost like, I don't want to say the heart of Ohio, but Cleveland definitely seemed like the hood of Ohio. And shout out to Columbus and shout out to other cities, but a lot of the stories that I covered.
I know some real gangsters from Cincinnati, Columbus, all over. You feel me? Like, it's a lot of thugs that's really, but that Cleveland city, that's that Cleveland, Cleveland where it's at though, like, and it's really bloody. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, you gotta walk right. You gotta moonwalk through the city, cause a nigga knock your shit loose. You feel me? For any wrong move.
And that's what I heard. Now, this is, I guess, when the last time you remember being in school? What grade was the last grade that you remember finishing?
Yeah, honestly, man, I probably finished. See, I've been in jail my whole life, you feel me? I went to ODYS at 12 years old. So my first time really getting in trouble, I was probably like 9 or 10.
And what was that about?
Being bad as fuck. Man, I think I was being bad. I had a weapon and some crazy shit. And I went to the detention center. And then, like, I stayed in there for a couple months. Then I got released back to my mother. Then after that, me and my nigga, like, I had my best friend. His name Nate. You feel me? We used to do a lot of bad shit together. Like, I knew him since the projects. We started off in Longwood. You feel me? His family was from Owen, and my family was from Longwood. You feel me? So, but we first met each other. We fought each other. To this day, he swerved it down. He won. To this day, I swerved it down. I won.
This call is originating from an Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
He's been my nigga since we've been kids.
So that shit was a draw. He swear he won, you swear you won. That shit's a draw.
Yeah, let him tell it. But, that's the homie, but, you see, a lot of shit fade away, though, man. It's a lot of shit that, we gonna get to it probably later on, but we gonna do a lot of talking about him, too, though, because, you feel me, a lot of motherfuckers that say that they bros and say that they 100 and say that they love you, they continue to, fade away and they continue to do fuckery. You feel me?
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely part of it. That's definitely a big part of the streets and shit like that. So we definitely got to tap in and talk about that. So he was the first one that you remember kind of like getting off the porch with.
You said the first person I did what?
So he was like the first person you kind of like got off the porch with, because you said you came home from the first detention stint and then you just went on to kind of continue on.
For sure. He was the first person that I ever, you feel me? We had a little squad though, you feel me? Like, I had a bunch of little niggas I used to kick it with, We used to go like in Longwood. It's crazy because like we used to buy these ices with the Kool-Aid on top of them and shit. And then we used to put the little sugar sticks on the Kool-Aid. Then we had this truck. It was called Bill Truck, man. It's the old projects, the bricks, man. We used to go to Bill Truck and shit, and he used to sell us these big ass jawbreakers with the nerd candies in them and big candy and shit. So, but it used to be me, my nigga Manu, my nigga Pee Wee, my nigga Booney, and then I met Nate. Then me and him became best friends. We was like brothers.
Wow.
So them was the niggas I was stuck with.
So y'all had a little hustle with the candy that y'all was doing, or?
Nah, like, this is what we used to do. We used to buy the penny candy. See, my mother, she used to be like, you better eat all that damn candy. And I'd be like, all right, mine. So we used to have the candy. And we'd take the candy to school. And we'd sell it to the little homies in school and shit and get double of what we paid for. Because, the candy was only a penny. It was penny candy.
Yeah.
You feel me? So we'd be getting their money and shit and having money on the way home and shit. That was just fun, kicking it.
Yeah, that was shit to do at school. And what school you went to?
School.
What school you went to?
I went to Central first. Then after that, I went to Park. That was when I went up the way. When I finally got kicked out of school and I went up the way and I started going to Parole. Then I wound up getting kicked out of that motherfucker too. But it's so crazy because Nate moved up the way. My nigga Nate moved up the way. We call him Young. He moved up the way and said he was going to Parole. I was still in the projects though at my auntie Pooh house. That's my mother's sister, her baby sister and shit. She stayed on 33rd, right there by the track. You feel me? And we was down there just having fun though, and I wound up going up the way heavy due to the fact my mother moved on the street called Reno, and that's up the way, and my auntie Kim wound up moving up there too. So I was up there heavy, like, and it was a different world from the projects, a whole different world though, like, cause you used to the same old little project girls, you feel me, with
This call is originating from an Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Then when you went up there, you got good girls, like girls from the heights that don't do shit, that don't never been in trouble, don't talk back to their people, like, it was just a whole other world up the way. And that's when I first met my nigga Mike. My nigga Mike that's on the phone. That's when I first met him.
Oh, okay.
And we've been locked in ever since.
So, I guess that was when did you realize, at what age did you like kind of just say, you know what, school is not for me, I'm just diving in? Or I guess you say you dived in on the streets after sports, but when did you even stop trying to go to school, and what did you do after that? What was your plan? Do you remember at that time?
Yeah, I started fucking around with the blood. You see, that probably was like after I went down. I was 12 years old. I had wound up going down for I think a burglary or some shit. We had kicked the nigga door in. You know, one of my older niggas. You know, he's still out there, so I really ain't gonna say no names. And shit,
Definitely, definitely.
Where we come from, we don't do that. So one of my older niggas put me on the move and shit, and I had wound up kicking the door, getting some shit, put it in the bag, and I gave it to my nigga. He got away. They caught me, but they hit me with a burglary. So I wound up going to OGYS when I was 12 years old. When I was 12 years old and shit, I only had 6 months. But when I first got there to the joint and shit, it was a lot of niggas from all over. Niggas from Columbus, Cincinnati, motherfucking Dayton, Youngstown, Lima, all over Ohio, you feel me? So
That shit just
and
a
that's when
recipe.
I first got introduced. Yeah, I got first introduced to the selling shit. You hear me? The shit that we slide for, that we mile for. You feel me? Like, that's the first time I got introduced to this shit.
Now, who introduced you to it? What city was the nigga from that introduced you? Let's talk a little bit about, now, for the people that don't know what we talking about, let people know what the Heartless Felons influence in Ohio is like, not only in Cleveland.
The Felons is big. First we started off, you know, it was just like a little cleaning thing, you feel me?
You have 1 minute remaining.
It was never no game, you feel me? But nowadays, these white folks, anytime some shit with a bunch of black youth, they say it's a gang, but we was family, man. We a movement, man. We ain't no gang, man. And we all just looked out for one another, you feel me? And that's all it was about, you feel me? But we were so young at the time, so it was just about protecting each other. Then you got some of the big homies, you feel me, that's out there repping and stepping, you feel me? They introduced us to that money, and so that shit became forever about money. So we just chasing that paper. So that's what, you know, it really came about, touching some money. But they turned it into, oh, they a gang, and they jump on people, they do this and do this. Nah, we ain't just jump on people. But if you ever disrespect us or you came at one of ours, nigga, we was gonna get busy and we gonna slide by what we love, and that's all that matters, you feel me? 3 times.
Definitely. And that...
Thank you for using GTL. Prepaid debit call from... This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using TTL.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
we was I guess you was pretty much explaining the Heartless Felons, and you almost put a good detail on it. When was the first time you heard about the Heartless Felons in your life?
First, 2007. That when I first went to ODYS.
So
First time, you feel me? Like, 'cause in our city, you feel me? We got hoods, you feel me? Like, so, you know, a nigga wasn't really on none of that. It was just like, shit, this my hood, these my hood niggas, and that's what it was, you feel me? You got niggas from other hoods and shit, they fight and all that shit, but at the end of the day, like, this my hood, this what it is.
okay, and then it just spread because now it's just like based on what the news say, it's like the Heartless Felons in control of the jails. They heavy in the streets. They not only in Ohio no more. That shit just spreading across the Midwest.
For sure. But at the end of the day, look at it like this though. You got so many youth that was misled. You feel me? Like, I went to ODYS as the.
This call is originating from an Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
I went to ODYS as a kid, you know, that made some mistakes, you feel me? But I still was a kid. And instead of the system helping me and doing something for me and trying to mold me to do something different, I probably wouldn't even be in the position I'm in due to the fact if we would have got that proper, you know, nurturing, that proper help that we needed from the system.
Yeah.
A lot of these black youths wouldn't even be here going through the shit they going through because we was only kids and they basically labeled us grown. They took us, stripped us from our family. You know, when you're 12 years old, 13 years old, you still falling asleep in your mother's bed and shit like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
Playing video games and shit.
Yeah, definitely.
So when they stripped us from our family and our loved ones, you ain't got no choice but to go to the joint and adapt to whatever's going on. You feel me? So whatever's going on, that's what we adapt to. But we was always taught as puppies, you feel me, as kids, never tell, never snitch on nobody, never do no bitch ass shit, don't never turn no work down, and never engage in no homo shit. So that was always installed in us anyway, you feel me? So that was installed in us. So, but when it came to thugging, we came to that thugging and all the shit that was going on in there. Niggas just adapted to it. Then instead of them, even in ODYS, instead of the COs and the people that was there for us, help us, we was taught that, you feel me, we was taught so many negative things that we just ran with it. And it didn't help us when we got back out there to the streets. It just made us worse. It made us monsters. It made us demons. I know niggas on the streets that used to get their ass beat. Couldn't fight a lick. Went to ODYS and went home, and they ain't lost the fight since. It's like basically like gladiator school. They trained us to be demons. And like a lot of young niggas that went through that and felt that pain and really felt that struggle and everything that niggas was going through, they are who they are because of that shit. Didn't nobody help them. The system, they fucked us around them. So that's why a lot of niggas like that.
That's crazy, and it's like that in almost every city. It's a youth camp, or instead of trying to reform people, it just toughen you, introduce you to other people and other shit for real.
Yeah, cause I look at the young niggas all around the world. Look at the little niggas in Chicago, Baton Rouge. Look at the little NBA young boy, them young niggas. All them young niggas wild because they ain't never had no guidance. You feel me?
That shit is.
So niggas like me, I understand. You know, a nigga understand that shit. Like, but you know, somebody gotta break the chains.
You never said nothing truer. You never said a more true statement. So I guess not to get sidetracked. And anything that you want to talk about, you can kind of get off script to the questions because I could always get back to those for real. I was gonna slide into So now we're gonna get to where like the news kind of coverage come into it. Let's talk a little bit about when you met Tavon Darling or Big Baby, or I don't even know if like what you know him as or where you know him from. Let's kind of slide into that, or how old you was around that time.
Shit, I mean, I know him and shit, but you feel me, like, he was always around, my family and shit. They always knew each other, like, everybody know him and shit. You feel me? But, good dude. You feel me? I really don't know too much about him like that. I just know, he was cool with the family and shit. That's it.
This call is originating from an Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Now, do you have any, you got any connection to him, like how the news talk about it, or is it just like something like it's just a neighborhood affiliation that got overblown?
I think it's a neighborhood affiliation that got overblown. Cause to be honest, on some G shit, they ain't never had me on no recorded line or no calls or none of that shit talking to that man. We ain't never had no connection to each other whatsoever. And they ain't never ever like put that out there that they had any dinners with us. None of that. They try to say that we was connected to each other and I was his muscle and all this shit. But at the end of the day, that's all false. You feel me? And shit. I don't know what that man do on his spare time. You feel me? So they try to basically give me a deal like, oh, if you tell on this nigga, we know y'all connected to each other. Woo. I say, man, I don't know that man, and that was my story, and that's what I stuck to. And then they put the capital spec on my case. You feel me? They put that capital spec on there to the point where if I lose, I could have got the death penalty. You feel me? But to this day, I'm standing like I don't know nothing he had going on. I don't know nothing about nothing they saying. You feel me?
Yeah. Well, we know how that can go with the news, and it can get overblown. I know we talked a little bit about Jesus. Now I didn't have my information all at hand that time when we first talked. I stumbled upon you doing research on Jesus, and the link that I said that they saw from Jesus was between a guy named Ching. Do you know a guy named Ching, or do you remember anything like that? Or
yeah, I know a guy named Ching for sure.
That's something you want to talk about?
I said we can talk about it. Ching is a cool motherfucker. He from the crave. He from the same place he was from. Like, yeah, he been around the niggas since we been kids and shit. Like, we was all young and shit. We grew up with each other.
Okay. All right. And now, look, Crave, that's just based on my research, that's where Loyal Always is. Or Loyal Always was established, or LA Gunners, or I don't know what.
That's what they say. You feel me? I really don't. You feel me? That's what they say. That's the gang people say. Whoever the fuck they is.
That's the newspaper, based on the newspapers and pretty much documentation and just prosecutors for real. Now, what you said that you knew Jesus, and what was that? What was the relationship? How do you know him, and what's that relationship like? Oh,
that's my cousin.
And that's on your mom's side, on your dad's side?
Yeah. On my family, on my mom's side, my family, like, we cousins and shit. His cousin, he got another cousin named Gigi. That his mother, my cousin too. Like, we family.
Now, do you remember? Was it family that you remember growing up with, or is it like one of those cousins that live like across the town? You'll see like maybe once on Thanksgiving, or.
Nah, I remember being around these since we been kids though. You feel me? We ain't never been tight like that. You feel me? Like, but since we was kids though, he only a couple like 2 years older than me. But since we been kids, man, like, they always compared us to each other, like. Always, you hear me? Like, but he cool though. He my family though. He my cousin and shit, but it ain't really too much though. I really could say about dude. Like at the end of the day, you feel me? Like we family, but you know how that shit go.
Yeah, yeah. You got some family members you closer with, some family members that you know you just know, and some people just family, and then just some family members you just never met. So yeah, definitely, I can see how that can go.
Yeah, for sure. But our situation just like way sticky, man. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so pretty much, and just on your end, because I don't know how much they talk to you, and that's what I'm on. I'm on research. I just do my homework down to the tippy, down to the point where I try to get it from the horse's mouth as said, and I just don't believe everything I read. Hard to believe even shit you see these days, for real, because even that shit could be deceiving. But from
For sure.
from the picture they trying to paint is the LA Gunners are rival to the Heartless
This call is
Felons.
originating from an Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
Yeah, so the picture they trying to paint is the LA Gunners are rival to the Heartless Felons to some degree. I don't know what they say, but because me being from the streets. Go ahead.
That's false, man. That's a lie.
Okay, so that's just so the people could know that just coming from your mouth, they should automatically know that that's just a fabrication. Yeah, so that's the picture they try to paint on that.
Yeah, I grew up over there too, you feel me? Like, so, it's all love to Little Curry block. I grew up over there, and like I said, half of that damn block is my family, you feel me? And they real good. A lot of them niggas be stepping, and a lot of them niggas, a lot of them niggas rap to me, you feel me? But the ones that's solid, that I know that's solid though, like Meaty, Beefy, you feel me? Like Money T, couple gangsters, you feel me? And, Line, Wacky D, Fish, them niggas real solid niggas and shit, like Tory. It's a lot of niggas that's from around that way, like that's really pure. But still got a lot of niggas that when that pressure get on, you feel me? They do the wrong thing, that thing we wasn't ready to do by running their dick suckers, you know what I mean? And like that's something I can't respect, you feel me?
Yeah, at no cost. Yeah, at no cost. And that and nothing against that block, nothing against nowhere. That shit everywhere. That shit worldwide. It's an epidemic going on.
For sure.
Yeah, niggas just getting into shit. So I guess we can kind of almost fast forward. Now we talking about you out the house. You chilling up the way now. What's your situation? You say you kind of just doing little shit to get money. Tell me what it was like when you was like 15. What was 15 like for you? What do you remember about being 15?
I ain't gonna lie. I had came home from ODYS, man. 15. My cousin, he like my brother, man. My cousin E, man. He from the Valley. He from the projects too. He from Garden Valley, man. Free E, shout him out, man. He got 24 years, man. I love my cousin to death, man. He like my brother, man. His mother always loved me. That's my auntie, my mom's sister.
Okay.
But he always been a good money ass nigga. You feel me? Like he always been a good money ass nigga since I've been a little nigga. Like he always had hustle by himself. Always been a project nigga, and he from Longwood, you feel me? But
you have 1 minute remaining.
He really grew up in the projects, you feel me? He really grew up in the valley. But his mom from Longwood, but he went to go stay with my grandma Yvonne, rest in peace her, and he grew up in the valley. But that's my nigga, like, and that's how that shit started with me hustling, because I always seen him hustling and getting money and doing what he do. And that's what motivated me to get some money, because he always told me, I remember this shit rolling off his oil cap. He told me, like, bruh, you know how good it feel to hustle for what you want and have a knot in your pocket, a bankroll, and you know it's yours, and you know you work hard for it, and you can buy anything you want to be and you want to buy, you feel me? So once I did it and I pushed the little bud that shit I pushed and I made that knot, that bankroll, it felt good because I earned it. It was mine. So that's what got me addicted to getting some money.
And that was at 15.
That was at 15, yeah.
Now,
Thank you for using GTL, Ohio Correctional Facility, and may be recorded and monitored.
yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, so I guess we just got finished talking about 15. Your cousin introduced you to the money.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, for sure.
Now, was that a smooth transition to getting the money, or was it like, did you have problems along the way? Did you have issues with police? And how long did that last?
Nah. It lasted a long time, you feel me? Because due to the fact, like, I always was good with, you feel me, copying grams and shit, you feel me? So I was raised around from my aunties. You know, my auntie Rhonda, she did 10 years. She did 10 years in prison, you know, for getting some money. So I come from a long line of getting some money. So I already knew, like, of grams and quarters, 14 grams, halves and ounces and shit. You know, I knew what I was doing. So at the end of the day, you know, this was when motherfuckers were still buying sacks of blood and shit. Like, they was buying sacks of $5. And sometimes the notes would come with $4 because they want to get a sale to smoke their weed and shit. But you know, when you knew a lot of motherfuckers in the hood and you was serving them, you let them slide. You feel me? Sometimes you might even let them come get them for $3. You feel me?
Yeah.
It was all love, though.
Yeah.
But that's what I was doing. And back then, like, you know, they was paying 20, 25 for quarters, halves and shit, 50 for halves and shit like that. Ounces, 80 for ounces. I was getting 2, 3 ounces. I was getting probably 56 grams, 2 onions for like $1. You feel me? Due to the fact my cousin was fucking with me. He was loving me, and you know I was coming back consistent, and he taught me the game, so he knew I knew what I was doing. You feel me? So I used to go on 116, and I used to sit on these crates and shit. And it was one of my older niggas out there. You know, shout out to my nigga grandson and shit. Didn't nobody sell blood like my nigga grandson, man. Grandson out there, rain, snow, storm, from 116 to motherfucking Miles to all the way from Lenny Craig to Harvard, Westland, everywhere. And you know the crazy thing about it? He did all this shit on feet. He ain't even got no car. He did all this shit on feet, man.
Get out of here.
I swear to God, man, if you wanted to cop, that phone ring, grandson coming, man. And you feel me? And I remember his words specifically because, you know, we all was bad as fuck. He was a couple years older than me, so I'm sitting on the crates and shit. He's like, they call me Suitor. Everybody in the hood call me Suitor, either Duke the God or Suitor. He like, Suitor, what you doing out here? I'm like, shit, nigga, I'm getting some money. What you mean I don't do it out here? He like, nigga, don't be hitting none of my notes. I'm like, shit, if I get to him first, shit, I'm going to serve him. He like, nigga, you lucky my little nigga, 747. I'm like, nigga, what you mean by that? So, you know, I've always been a fighter and all this aggressive shit since a young boy. So, you know, what you mean by that? I'm like, nigga, I'm just fucking with you. So, I get a nigga my phone and shit. You know, we trapping off the foot. You feel me? I get a nigga my phone and shit. We had a barbershop in the hood, you feel me? Like, right, like, 2-3 steps right there, you feel me? And shout out to Jimmy, he used to own the barbershop and shit, cut hair. And he walked that way. I'm still at his store sitting on the crates. I wound up running inside Town Square. That was the name of the store. I wound up running in there and warming me up 2 Hot Pockets. This was the hood store, so we ain't pay for shit in that bitch. Okay. Everything we wanted, we got for free. I'm behind the counter. You know, you feel me? I done took 2 guns from the nigga. It was 9 years high. You feel me? They was the A-Rap, but they was young like us. They father owned the store, but they used to just run it for him and shit. Yeah. But I'm warming up some Hot Pockets and shit. So a note come in the store, like, y'all seen grandson? I'm like, nah, hell nah, we ain't seen bro. Like, I ain't seen it. But I know he a note, so I'm trying to hit his note. I'm trying to backdoor him for his note. Look at the games we played, though. Yeah. When the money on the line, shit don't count. So I wound up serving his note. I go out there, I look down there by the barbershop, and he wasn't even right there. I'm like, damn, what the fuck did we get there with my phone? So I guess, come to find out, long story short, I'm sitting on the crate, I'm still serving. Now, I'm out of blood, so I'm like, damn, man, what the fuck my phone? I gotta get my phone and call my pieces
This call is originating from an Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
I gotta get my phone. To call my people to re-up and shit. Man, hours and hours and hours pass. Man, we up there probably like 9:30 in the morning. It's probably like 9:30 at night.
Wow.
So I see his girl pull in. In the car. I'm like, damn, look at this. She's like, I don't know. He said he on his way back up there. I'm like, man, this nigga's tripping. So I see the niggas. He walking. I'm like, why was you leaving with my phone? So he's like, nigga, this ain't the whole ass up. You my little nigga. Woo-hoo. So I get mad. You know, we was taught, like, no disrespect. Don't tolerate no disrespect.
Yeah.
So when he said it, I just punched him. Boom. So I hit him in the face. He fall down. His girl see it. Everybody in the hood like, damn, he was letting that dude put you down. Oh, I should have just put you down. He was in his feelings about the shit, but he never really tried to do shit because they knew how I was coming. Since a young boy, I've been playing with them sticks, so he felt like if he would have did something, I probably would have busted him or something. But he's my nigga to this day though. But he's just one hustling ass motherfucker, man. Like he a good nigga though.
Yeah. That's just one of them stories that happened. Just niggas being in the hood for real. Niggas was even able to squash it out or whatever. Now, when was the first time? So niggas call you shooter. When was the first time you had your own gun?
Shit, I had so many damn guns. I probably had my first stick. I'm gonna take it back. Because when we hit a move, probably I was like, before I went to OGYS, probably like around 12, I wound up hitting the move and I found the hammer in the house. And me seeing guns, I started seeing my cousins and them guns and shit. I just took a liking to guns. And I felt like towing that skill made you a man. You feel me? Even though that's not true, but how we was raised, that's how we took it. You feel me? So when I had that steel, when you got that steel on you, man, that shit make you feel like you Incredible Hulk or you Iron Man or something. You feel me? Like, so I played with that steel. And I remember one time we get into it and shit. Matter of fact, I already got convicted of the case and shit as a juvenile, but shit, I get into it with some niggas in the hood. And the niggas pull up. They up in stakes, you feel me? But, like, see, my generation was, like, way silly due to the fact they used to up the guns, but they ain't bust them. And that's why they call me shooter, like, because I didn't hesitate, like, for nothing. Like, anytime it's pressure, you know, I'll fight and anything. We'll kick people's ass and shit. But at the end of the day, after I fight, we kick y'all ass, I'm still going to shoot. That's why they call me shooter. Like, so when shit would happen, they'd pull up. If I up, I'm busting. So they'd be like, and they'd up their guns and talk shit. I'm busting at everybody right there. So that's how it was, you feel me? So this wild shit in the hood, but I wound up going to jail for that shit.
That's crazy.
Doing time, getting bonded over.
Now you don't even gotta mention. That was, I guess you got convicted on that case. Was that the first time you had to use your gun?
Yeah, hell yeah. First time I ever used that steel. Yeah, hell yeah.
Now, how did it go after that? I guess being that happened, you see niggas you had guns. I'm sure after that it was no hesitation.
I didn't get locked up right after that. So you know, when niggas in the hood, like that's normal for us. Like motherfuckers look at us and be like, oh, they carry guns, they shooting. You know. Don't get me wrong, because I ain't trying to mislead no youth that's out there right now in the world, you feel me, they don't know what they doing with their life, man. And you know, it's always a better route. But for motherfuckers like me and some of the young niggas that I know from my ghetto that come from poverty, that's what we was taught. Like, that was our love, like hustling, getting some money, protecting what's yours, and busting that fire. So that was something that we loved, you feel me? And that's what we was taught. I was taught that from my older niggas. We was taught the niggas, don't never let a nigga disrespect you. Don't let your brother disrespect you. Nigga, you better not let your mama talk too crazy to you. You feel me? So that was just something that was installed in us, you feel me? So, but it was wrong though. You know, some of our older niggas taught us wrong. Some of our older niggas taught us right. Like I got an older nigga named Ant. Everybody called him up the way bald head. And since I've been a kid, man, like since I've been a baby, man, he always told me, like, man, get some money. Stop doing that hot shit. Stop making the hood hot. Stop
This call is originating from an Ohio Correctional Facility and may be recorded and monitored.
You feel me? He always taught me right. He always kept it G with me. And he would never have me do something that he wouldn't do himself.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
So that's how that shit was though, like, man, but that's my dog, like, man, he always been my dog, man, like, that's all I'm saying, but he always led a nigga down that path, even though he was in the streets, I was in the streets, but he always made sure niggas were protected, he always made sure no shit was pure.
Yeah, it sound like you, like, well, it sound like you know a lot of, just for it to be Cleveland, it sound like you know a lot of niggas, a lot just well connected in the streets, and that's from your family. Because your family sound like everybody's getting money from your aunt to your cousins to your dad was in the streets.
Hell yeah, father, all of them was getting some money. So I ain't never had no problem in that area. It was just the street life for me. Like I was just different from everybody in my family. Like I was gonna bust that fuck.
Thank you for using TTL.